Grim Dawn is good. Hello, Contraband. It just nodded along while I kept saying that I'll probably play it. But now we are doing the segment that is actually meaningful, powerful. I don't think you will ever see such a powerful segment from any other streamer. So brace yourselves. I personally bracing myself for this. Let me find the relevant article. This is not the relevant article. This is not the relevant article. From TVP World. Because listen, I'm gonna open up this very important segment, this historically even important segment, by saying that I come from a family of lawyers and artists. Okay, this is a very important point. And among the artists, the artistes, they are musicians. Okay, one of my relatives was a what? Listen, one of my relatives was a piano composer. That's on my mother's side. One of my relatives on my father's side was and this is where it becomes important. This is where it becomes crucial to the segment itself. Was a violin player. Okay? A violin player. And as we all know, violins are beautiful instruments that create beautiful sound. Unfortunately, my relative, due to the recession, I assume, due to the financial crisis before World War II, had to sell his prized possession, his violin. So he had to get rid of it, and he could not play it anymore. And among the most prized violins, there's the renowned Stradivarius violin. I bet everyone here, everyone watching this stream has heard the name Stradivarius. And the famous Stradivarius crafted violins that are basically, at least that used to be the case years ago, near impossible to recreate the technique with which they were built. Apparently it was analyzed, it was like looked into, and attempts were made to recreate the violin. At least the last time I checked. It might have changed. It might have changed over the years, but last time I checked, the attempts to recreate the violin, the Stradivarius, and recreate the sound that it makes was a failure. So Stradivarius is a big deal. It's a big deal among instruments. It is like the big shot among instruments. Very special, unique, crafted instrument. So naturally, someone attempted to smuggle a Stradivarius violin out of Ukraine and into Poland. That the smuggling of such precious artifact, precious musical artifact, is unforgivable. And I, as a person who has had relatives who were musicians, am angry at this. And we're gonna read about it. I am angry at this development. Don't worry. The person that attempted to do the smuggling has been apprehended, stopped, and the Stradivarius remains in Ukraine, which I really hope it will not be damaged due to the war, but that's neither here nor there. The important fact is that it was not smuggled out, which is already, in my book, a victory. Ukraine foils attempted smuggling of priceless Stradivarius violin. And considering how it's not replicable. It is literally a priceless instrument. Ukraine's border and customs services successfully intercepted an attempt to smuggle a historic Stradivarius violin into Poland through one of the crossings between the two countries, as reported by the State Border Service of Ukraine on Friday. So as you can see, this is a huge deal. And a very recent news as well. A very recent piece of news. A collaborative effort between border guards and customs officials thwarted the illicit export of an Anton Stradivari violin crafted in 1713. Hello, Greater Ain't. Hello. Stated a message on Telegram. The instrument was discovered concealed in the trunk of a car destined for Poland. Subsequently, the violin was confiscated and dispatched for expert examination, according to the State Border Service of Ukraine. Wow, a Stradivarius that was discovered. That is such an exciting news. What is bad is that somebody attempted to smuggle it out. Such a precious instrument. Like, I believe that Stradivarius is one of the, if not the most famous instrument brand. I bet each and every one of you has heard of the Stradivarius brand. Every one of you. A similar incident was reported in July 2023 when Ukrainian border guards agents stopped a 1730 Stradivarius violin from being smuggled out of the country. Wow, a lot of Stradivariuses are in Ukraine, it seems, which is interesting. I'm gonna Google something because I'm actually curious. How many Stradivarius in the world? Oh, okay. So there's, according to Google, according to the search engine of Google, 650 Stradivariuses remain in the world. So only 650 of them are in the world, and 2 of them are in Ukraine apparently. At least 2. At least 2 of them are in Ukraine. Renowned Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari's workshop produced over 1,000 violins, violas, and cellos, with approximately 650 instruments believed to have survived. Experts highlight that the finest pieces were crafted between the 1700 and 1725, which means that this one that was supposed to be smuggled was among the top of the top, the creme la creme of the Stradivariuses. So I'm very happy to announce that this awful crime of smuggling the Stradivarius from Ukraine was stopped. And I assume that now the instrument will be taken over by the state and put in a safe place where it will be able to be admired by the public. Exciting, huh? Exciting news. And this, I dare say, is the best segment of the night, isn't it? Isn't this the best segment of the night? Don't you think so? Aren't you glad you tuned into this stream to listen to me talk about how a Stradivarius smuggling attempt was thwarted? Aren't you glad you're here? Aren't you glad you did not choose any other boring streamers that don't know what's good, that don't know high culture of the violin? They never said, actually. They never said who the would-be smuggler was, which seems like a Huh. Strange. Strange. Very strange. But I guess it's not important. I guess it wasn't so important who did it. Oop. I guess the more important thing was that it was stopped before it happened. So if you've enjoyed this segment, press like, subscribe, hit the bell, and join the page and donate. 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 Okay. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. We are done with this one. Perfect. Was my favorite topic of today. Ooh. Oh my gosh. The 3rd of May. The 3rd of May is the day of the Constitution of the 3rd May. The Constitution, the second constitution in the world after the United States Constitution. Did you know this? Did you know that the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth had the second constitution ever after that of the United States? I bet you did not know that. I bet you did not know this little fact that you can only learn from Lucy Haze, the history streamer, the historical nerd. And on the 3rd of May, each year, Poland, and actually it became a thing celebrated in Poland, Lithuania, and sort of Ukraine. It became more of a shared thing. But the 3rd May Constitution was supposed to be the thing that would have saved the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth from being partitioned. It was a big, big constitution. And now Lithuania dignitaries congratulate Poland on the May 3rd Constitution Day. It's a very interesting story with the whole May 3rd Constitution. Technically speaking, it's already the 4th in Poland. But we're still gonna pretend that it's the 3rd, and we're still gonna talk about the 3rd May Constitution. Lithuanian dignitaries congratulate Poland on May 3 Constitution Day, which is a little bit of a mistake. Because again, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was not a nation state, and Lithuania was as much part of it as Poland was. So, Lithuanian leaders conveyed their best wishes to Poland on the 233rd anniversary of the May 3rd Constitution of 1791. Considered Europe's first modern written constitution and the world's second modern written constitution after the United States of America. The May 3rd Constitution, titled the Governance Act, was adopted by the Great Sejm for the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, a dual monarchy comprising of the Crown of the Kingdom of Poland and the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. In a letter to Polish President Andrzej Duda, his Lithuanian counterpart Gitanas Nausėda wrote that Constitution Day on May 3rd is important not only for Poland and Lithuania, but also for the whole of Europe and the world. A document of particular importance proves the long-term, unique and inseparable ties and ideals connecting both countries, which are as important to us today as they were centuries ago, the letter read. Nausėda added that Lithuania and Poland are allies and partners in NATO and the European Union, working together to ensure the security not only of both countries, but also of the whole of Europe, and supporting Ukraine in its fight against a Russian aggressor. Lithuania and Poland share deep historical ties, highlighted by the 3rd May 1791 Constitution. Let's cherish our freedom together to uphold the values enshrined in the Constitution as we strive for a free, united Europe. Actually, this Constitution is also a part of Belarusian and Ukrainian history because part of Ukraine was still part of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth at the time. So it's a shared history of these four countries at least. Keep this in mind. It's not just a history of Lithuania and Poland. I'm always here to remind these things. Andrzej Duda and people of Poland, congratulations on 3rd May Constitution Day. The Speaker of the Seimas, the Lithuanian Parliament, Viktorija Smilite Nielsen, also offered her best wishes to Poland. I would like to express my sincere wish that the principles enshrined in the May 3rd Constitution and the pledge mutual between the two nations adopted by the Great Sejm on October 20th, 1791, will unite our nations, encourage pride in the achievements of our nations, and serve as solid basis for friendly relations and strategic cooperation, she wrote in a letter to Szymon Hołownia, her Polish counterpart, and Małgorzata Kidawa-Błońska, the Speaker of Polish Senate. Lithuania Prime Minister Ingrida Simonite sent a message to Donald Tusk, her Polish counterpart, in which she wrote that the May 3 Constitutional Day is not only a Polish national holiday, but also a holiday of the Lithuanian nation. It is also sort of a holiday for Ukrainian people and Belarusian people, in my opinion. Like, I could get into why, but, that's a topic for a whole historical lecture that I might just give one day. My wholehearted greetings to Donald Tusk and the people of Poland celebrating the Constitution Day. The 1791 Constitution is a source of pride and inspiring legacy of common Lithuanian and Polish history, an embodiment of ideals of freedom and liberty that unite and guide us in our deep felt thing and our deep felt support for Ukraine today. We are brotherly nations and historic allies. Historically, our nations have always been united by the pursuit of freedom and the clear understanding that only united are we strong. We have always been and will remain on the side of Poland's freedom, and together we will build the prosperity and well-being of our nations in a united Europe, she wrote. So yeah, a very important last-ditch effort by the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth to preserve itself, which unfortunately ultimately failed, and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was partitioned and disappeared from the map. But the achievement of the 3rd May Constitution remains. It remains the second constitution in the world and after the United States, and remains the first constitution in Europe. A shared heritage between Polish, Lithuanian, Ukrainian, and Belarusian people. A source of pride, a source of joy. I think that I could actually read on stream one day the text of the Constitution. It had many interesting ideas. Although it did away with many things that sort of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth prided itself on. It definitely made the king a stronger figure within the country than he was before. And it did away with electing the king through a vote. The king would be, which in my opinion was not such a great change, that the king would become like the children of the king would inherit the throne, which is not a great improvement in my opinion. That is one thing that the Constitution, in my opinion, did bad. I like the idea of I do like the idea that the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth just elected its kings in election, that people voted, at least the nobles voted. They were the only ones that were alive.